Hello.
So, Sat is here to talk to me today about something that's really important to him, but even more so to me currently, and quite a few people that I'm related to. So we'll start, Sat, with, you are a certified menopause champion.
That's correct, yes.
Now, for some people, they'll be going, sorry, Dee, what did you say? And I'll say it again. Sat is a certified, that means he's got a certificate, menopause champion.
Yes.
So why, Sat? Why did you decide to not only invest in learning about this yourself, but also become a certified champion to support others? What made you do it?
We all started from a relationship that I had 5 years ago with an amazing woman, and we were together for 3 years. Now, towards the tail end of that relationship, I was made aware through internal communications between ourselves that she was going through perimenopause, and at the time I had absolutely no clue what that was, and I just thought, okay, it will pass. But it was only when our relationship yeah, I know, right? It was only when, bear in mind that was only when I didn't understand it. It was only when our relationship suddenly fell apart, just completely out of the blue, I realised how much it impacted women. And then that caused me to wonder how many other relationships could be impacted in this way. And it's not just intimate relationships, we're talking other women in our life, our mothers, our family, our friends, our colleagues at work, even women that you see at the shops, at the counters would say, hello, you don't know what they're going through. And that curiosity combined with my desire to really stand with women and really give them the compassion and love that not only do they need, but they actually deserve from men, really got me into going for that menopause certification, because it really made me feel proud to do that.
So how do you even start to understand and find out that you can be a certified menopause champion?
So I went through a Certified Menopause network, and I read more about this. And obviously initially I thought, oh, is it mainly female orientated thing? But there was actually male men that wanted to know more about it. So I wanted to take it further and actually become a certified menopause champ to actually add to that credibility, and obviously make women aware that, you know what, there are guys that are actually there to support. What it did also do is, and obviously it's important for women to have the compassion and support, but that inspired me to give myself the love, compassion and support, to deeply connect with myself and recognise that I'm actually going through andropause.
Andropause?
Yes.
What's andropause?
So andropause is the gradual reduction of male testosterone levels, and we tend to get symptoms that are similar, if not at times the same, as menopausal symptoms, and I've been having those symptoms for the past 3 years.
So let's just take a minute. You're saying that not only are you a certified menopause champion,
Correct?
but you've also found out that you're going through andropause.
Yes.
So how does someone find out they're going through andropause?
So when I made a list of my own symptoms, I made a whole list of them, I went to the doctor and I gave him a list and he looked at this and he was like, oh my God, these are the symptoms that women go through in the menopause. And I was like, yes. So what he did was he invited me to take a blood test, and I took 3 blood tests in 6 weeks. Now my first blood test told me that I had urine infection. The second one told me I had high cholesterol. The third one showed me that my testosterone levels were very low. So I had to have checks on my body, routine checks. I was then sent to the hospital to have my thyroid checked to make sure there was nothing wrong with that, and it came back fine. So I went back to the doctors and he looked at that, and bearing in mind every year I have routine checks to my body and routine blood tests, he looked at it and he goes, wow, you have got hormonal fluctuations, which is pointing to andropause. And then I sat down, I was like, wow, some men go through this as well. And it just enlightened me. It really did.
So for some people that will be the first time they've heard of.
Yes.
people that identify as male or
Yes.
are genetically male having a pause. Now, we've had a quick catch up before this, and you've told me that you call it a pausal journey,
Yes.
which I think is a really nice saying, a pausal journey.
Yes.
Whether you're going through it or supporting someone going through their pausal journey. And you've just challenged us to think that maybe that's all people that go through a pausal journey. So tell me more about why you call it that.
Well, I call it pausal because I want to keep it neutral. I think it's great how menopause has come out. I think it's absolute, and in fact, the women that have inspired the likes of me to come out clean, and I think they've been amazing. But I think when you say pausal, what you're doing is you're actually making men and women inclusive together. That is massive, inclusivity and diversity, not just from a personal sense and family regard, but also in a corporate sense. And you're not just talking about heterosexual relationships, you think about same-sex relationships as well. There's two women who could be together going through the menopause. You're also talking about possibility two men being in the andropause journey together.
So for some people, they're still absorbing andropause, probably Googling it as well as we're talking.
Yes.
But actually, you then took your certified status as a menopause champion and took your journey
Yes.
of understanding that you've had andropause, and not only on a local level, you did this with Microsoft.
Yes.
So tell me about that.
So I had a presentation, one hour presentation with Microsoft to 250 employees. And it was absolutely amazing. I was talking about andropause, and the feedback from the director was, do you know what? After your presentation, over 120 of our employees have just gained a new perspective, and it's impacted us to change our diversity and inclusivity policies. Not just that, but what was really amazing was two people on there, on the online presentation, commented when I was doing that presentation. One woman was coming to work crying every single day in fear that she was losing her husband because she felt he was falling out of love. When she heard my presentation, she said, I realised I need to get more connected with my man because it's not him. And then a guy messaged and said, I was very close to leaving my job because I didn't know who I was anymore. I lost myself. I lost the passion for the job that I've loved so long. But then when I've just heard your presentation, I understand that I need to get connected more with my body and really speak my voice more.
So I understand that men that are diagnosed with andropause can have testosterone replacement therapy, but you've decided not to have that. You've decided to go from a much more holistic way. So tell me a little bit more about the symptoms that you were having and what you've done to try and support those symptoms.
Okay, this is going to be an interesting one. So I've had hot flushes. I've had night sweats. My partner's always saying to me, gosh, you're boiling up. I have bloating, so I put unexpected weight on. I do get the mood swings a fair bit. One moment I can be in a state of calm, and the next moment I can either be crying my eyes out, or I've got this fire of rage in me to the point where I feel like I can compete for the next World's Strongest Man tournament and turn my car over. So I'll just have a drink of water. I get the brain fog a lot. I have moments where I forget the names of family members, friends. I'm even forgetting the names of players of my favourite football team. I'm having conversations with my partner sometimes, and it's either I've forgotten 2 minutes what she said to me, or I'm suggesting to her that we do what she said to me 2 minutes ago.
Slightly annoying then.
Oh, yes. Yes. The anxieties as well. The anxieties, we can have the most simplest and minute of discussions, of disagreements, and suddenly I'm thinking, oh my gosh, I've been a bad boy. Is she going to leave me tomorrow? I have had even the more minute symptoms that are already spoken about in menopause, such as the dizziness, such as the dry mouth where I need loads of water. So all those symptoms really, I looked at that and I said, how can I manage it myself? Because I don't just want to jump straight to therapy.
You weren't interested in medication as a first resort, were you? So what have you done?
So I changed lifestyle. So I changed my eating habits. I've gone to eating more greens, higher protein. I also go to the gym regularly. So I was working out at home. I decided to go to the gym and work out. I do martial arts. I've been doing it for 34 years. I'm a 2-time black belt.
Okay.
I'm an avid gamer, so I play my Xbox a lot. I do a lot of reading. I do a lot of walks in nature. I do a lot of affirmations. All those things for me are my TRT. So really, it's owning it yourself first and not jumping straight to the medication, because sometimes it might not always be right for your body.
Absolutely. And things that, if we step away from the pausal journey, one of your biggest things is actually to try and support societal change of men being more open about their physical, emotional and mental well-being.
Absolutely.
To do with their pausal journey as a beginning, but to take that forward. And you really want to advocate for men to be braver or have more support to allow that to happen, right?
Absolutely. Well, I've always said, and I always say this in organisations when I speak or when I speak to friends, thunder doesn't strike in silence. You've got to have the courage to find your voice and speak your truth, because at the end of the day, guys, you've got to understand that you're human as well. If you're one of these guys and you're thinking, do you know what, I'm macho, I'm strong, I could just do it in silence and get along with it, and if you think that's okay, that's wrong, because what you're actually doing is you're not just bringing self-harm to yourself and your own mental well-being, you're also bringing harm to your relationships, because if your partner wants to know what's going on and if she doesn't see anything right and you don't feel the need to communicate, that's only going to put more strain on your relationships. The question is, do you want to do that?
Yeah, we've spoken before, this is also for people that are not in relationships and don't have family networks, and also it's about being brave enough to pick up a phone, text a number, or be brave enough to go to a GP.
Absolutely.
So in the last few moments that we have sat, what's the one message that you'd like to give the audience that we have here today and the virtual audience about men's mental health and emotional health, but very clearly about the pausal journey?
So 2 main points really. Number 1, andropause is real. Andropause is real. No, it's not a midlife crisis, because I have had people come to me and say, oh my God, I was in a midlife crisis. It is real and it needs to be acknowledged more. And number 2, communication and openness are absolute key. We all know communication is the absolute background to everything healthy. So if you're willing to communicate, as soon as you feel it, I communicate with my partner. The instant I feel something, then it's going to be easier to support each other and understand each other.
Everyone, the pausal journey is something that Sat would like you to take away, and I'd like you to say a huge thank you to Sat Sagoo
Thank you
for telling us about Andropause.
Thank you.